Hi, welcome to the A Quilting Life podcast. I'm Sherri McConnell from A Quilting Life, and Billy is at the table with me today. Chelsi is not feeling well, but we are actually going to Zoom her in for the remainder of the podcast. Billy and I are going to do the intro and conclusion, and then you do get to see Chelsi.
Yes, she will be on here. I'm just sort of filling in up here for the intro and when we close up everything, but Chelsi will be joining us remotely today. So you'll get to hear her talk about the quilting topics, not myself. I'll just do my normal thing of asking some questions.
Right. And we are in the new A Quilting Life studio. This is where we're going to be podcasting from now on. And we're excited to be here.
Yeah, but we're not all the way done with changes.
Right.
We will have probably some new mic stands here. Not probably, we will. We're still working that out. We're actually going to change the length of this table. We've decided after today. So there's still going to be a few different things that we're going to make some changes with. And where I sit as well is still a little bit yet to be determined. We would have figured it out today, but I'm up here today, so that made it easy for where I was going to sit.
Right.
So, but it's definitely coming together more since the last time we podcasted. We just decided couch wasn't really going to work with it was a lot to move it just for one filming session and everything. And so anyway, we're still working some things out, but yeah, I think we're gonna be here. But we did listen to, also I should mention, the comments about being more, a lot of people liked it when you guys were at the sewing table up there.
We could still try that again.
So that might be an option too. We'll just sort of see with the lighting and everything. At least when Chelsi gets back, we'll work on being more towards the camera.
Yeah.
However we can do it.
Yeah. We could do the next one over there and then have people take a vote or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. There's a lot of different things. So, but for now, this is sort of where we might be for a couple episodes at least.
Okay, well, I'm going to jump right in and just mention Cozy Earth. We love Cozy Earth. They are a fantastic sponsor. And boy, we thought we had dodged the bullet because we had the coolest July here in 10 years, but we've had some August heat that has been just stifling. 114 for, I think, the last 3 days in a row out here. I don't know how hot it's been in Vegas.
In Las Vegas, it hit my phone said 113, but the news said 112.
Okay.
So...
yeah.
Still hot either way.
It's been hot. We're appreciative of our Cozy Earth sheets and just love their cooling. They are made from bamboo, from viscose. And again, just remember, you can't beat that warranty. It is just phenomenal. You can have a 100-night sleep trial and send them back for free if you don't like them. And then they have a 10-year warranty. So be sure to visit Cozy Earth and use our link to get 40% off. There was a little glitch a couple weeks ago. The link is now working and the code did work throughout. So you can always use the code A Quilting Life all together when you check out for that 40% off. But we do have the corrected link now as well.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you. It popped up on a few comments. There was one email that I received on our podcast email that let us look into it. So thank you for that. It should, like my mom said, it should be all fixed. Now we had tested it and the link was working to get you right to the discount. But if in case it ever happens again, you can always, the code A Quilting Life will also get you that discount. That never broke at all or anything. So, but thank you and that was good to actually see people are trying the link and it wasn't working at the time.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And I have to say thank you also to all of those people who emailed about the New York Times article. We'll put a link to that in the description, but it's an article about a group of women who live in Texas, and there are different stories about all of the different women and what they do. And anyway, one of the women is pictured with a quilt that she made, and she made my Heart of the Home summer house quilt with strawberry lemonade fabrics, and it shows up very well in the article. And so thank you. I had a really good friend email me right away, because she reads pretty regularly, And so she messaged me right away, so I knew. And then, but I was so pleasantly surprised with all the emails. So thank you for everyone who sent those along. I thought that was kind of a big deal to have a quilt that I designed in the New York Times.
Yeah, when I first got here today, my mom said, "Oh, I need to mention something about my quilt in the New York Times." I said, the New York Times did something on your quilt? And she said, well, not necessarily, but it's in the New York Times. I was like, oh, that's cool still. And then I looked at the article and saw, yeah, it's right there. So that was really neat.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the quilts. Delightfully Yours is shipping very soon. From the date of this podcast, it could be just a matter of weeks, maybe even sooner. We'll see. So I decided to have some Delightfully Yours quilts. And on the wall, I have Eclairs, which is the most easiest beginner-friendly quilt you'll ever make. And super fun pattern to also, you can make it smaller and it'd be your go-to baby quilt, gift quilt to make. And then on the table, I have Quilter's Cottage, the medallion quilt with the house in the center. And I actually do have back here the little cozy quilt that is going to be in our collector box. So we're super excited to get Delightfully Yours out into the world very, very, very soon.
Awesome. And you're going to talk more about the Eclairs quilt in the next part.
Today's
of the
episode.
Podcast.
Yeah.
It goes along with that topic.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention for my Moda Minute, Moda sent me these scissors, which I already love, but I am so excited because the last time they sent them, I think I kept 3 pair and gave Chelsea 2. So neither one of us had all the sizes, but now we can each have all of the sizes. I'm super excited with this. These are my go-to scissors. I love them. They have embroidery scissors at 4.5 inches and 5.5 inches. And then this one they call the hobby scissor. It has a wide handle and it's more like for sewing and crafting, 6.5 inches. And then they have 2 sets of dressmaker shears, an 8-inch and a 9-inch. And these are fabulous, fabulous scissors. So I just love them. And I was super excited because now I'm going to have all 5 sizes.
Plenty of scissors.
Yes.
All right. Well, I will get into our listener quilts segment of the podcast now. And so I have those pulled up here on this computer today. And the first one here is from Kathy. And she said, "Hi, I decided to make my sweet 81-year-old aunt a quilt. I had a week to finish it as she lives over 500 miles away, but my sister decided to visit her and could take my quilt. I chose Camille's new Summer Love pattern and used Your Bountiful Blooms that I had on hand. It came together so nicely. I used leftovers for back design and a Lori Holt label. I just gave it to my sister on the morning of her trip. Thank you for such beautiful fabric." And that is from Kathy. And you sent me this, so I know you've seen it before, but there it is.
Yeah, so pretty.
And it's on we'll be sharing the pictures,
got that
obviously,
on the back.
there.
Yeah. Yeah, I've received a few lately that there's a couple I still need to forward to Belly.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is that one. And then we have the Sunshine quilt. This is from Nancy. She said, "Hi, Sherri. I wanted to send you a picture of my Sunshine quilt. I use batik scraps." Batiks. Okay,
Batik scraps.
For the blocks and cornerstones. I increased the size of my sashing and used a fabric different from the background fabric. I love this pattern and will likely make it again using scraps. It is a cohesive way to use scraps without an obvious scrappy look. Thanks for all of your great videos." And that is from Nancy. And do you remember this one too?
Yes, yeah. I love that.
Me?
Yeah.
That's your quilt,
Awesome.
Correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, and then the last one here is from Evelyn. She said, "Hi, Sherri and Chelsi. I discovered you over a year ago, and I love listening to your podcast and watching your YouTube videos while I sew. I began working on my first quilt, Farmer's Wife 99 block sampler quilt, in January of 2024 when I was 13. So she's very young.
So she's only 14.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I think she just turned, she just turned 15.
Okay.
Then she said, "I made my second quilt using a layer cake of your strawberry lemonade fabrics and a pattern called coffee cake that I saw on a Jordan Fabrics video. I coordinated the border backing and binding with the other fabrics to complete the quilt. I'm 15 now and working on your home sweet home quilt kit. Is that you or Chelsi?
I have Home Sweet Home.
You were Home Sweet Home.
Yes.
Okay. I've attached a picture of both of the quilts. Thanks for all of your videos. I've learned so much from them. Evelyn. So there is the coffee cake one.
That is so awesome.
In your strawberry lemonade fabrics
I
there.
love that. I love that you're only 15 too.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. So I think that as far as we know, I know you had a student in your retreat that was 10.
Yeah.
Right? But this is our first listener. This is our youngest listener quilt.
Our youngest listener quilt.
Yes, that we've shared. To our knowledge anyway.
Yeah.
No one else.
I love that. And also,
you're off to a great start. I mean,
well, the farmer's wife, I've made that quilt. That is not an easy quilt to make.
Oh, really? You've made it too?
I've made that one. And for your very first quilt, wow. They're all 6-inch blocks. So, and some of them are not that easy. So,
impressive. Good, great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that sent those in today. So, with that, anything else we need to cover? I think
that's about it.
What's new and everything? Yeah,
Chelsi and I are going to kind of tell you what we've been doing behind the scenes when we get into our interview. So
yeah, I don't think it's really an interview. We're just going to go to our topics
seems
now.
That way because we were using the same format as when we have guests on, I guess.
Yeah, so Chelsi's sort of.
It's just sort of our podcast, but we're in two different spaces. So.
Yeah. So with that, we'll jump to that part of our podcast where Chelsi joins us remotely. We actually did it right before we did this morning. So we'll jump to that, and then we'll come back at the end and wrap it back up. Okay. Now we're welcoming Chelsi to the show remotely today so that we can all stay healthy and good right now. We already did our intro and everything, Chelsi, and so, but we wanted to have her here today so that we could discuss the topics with her because I have no input with that. Is that your dog whining in the background?
I hear her dog.
Yes, that is Moose.
Moose should make a cameo appearance.
Yeah, should we?
Yeah, go ahead. Show him to everyone. I'm sure everyone would like to see him. He was in his kennel.
A little sad right now.
Hi, Moose.
And he really is the best dog. Billy actually saw him this morning and but I think he feels like he's missing out. So that's why he was whining.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, cool. Okay. Nice to welcome Moose onto the podcast today. But the first topic today, and this is why we really did need Chelsi, even though she's not feeling her best, is we were going to talk about sewing with the new fabric collection. And what got me thinking about this topic was that's what you guys are currently doing right now, right? You're sewing with fabrics that you can't share with anyone yet, but you're getting ready to share it later this year. Is that right? I'm correct in saying all that?
Yes.
Okay. And so, go ahead.
Next month, in about 6 weeks.
Yeah,
okay.
Soon.
So I had a few questions about during this part of the year where you're sort of doing things somewhat secretly. I mean, you could say, obviously there's other people that are involved with it and everything, but it's not public yet. So, I went over the questions with you guys there, but one of the things I want to know is when you first get that fabric your new fabric, do you know exactly which quilt that you're going to start with first? Do you have something in mind? Is it the one you want to share first? Or how do you go about deciding where to start?
I always make my easiest quilt first because I love that quick win philosophy, right? So I usually just already have it planned. I'm going to make the easiest quilt first, and then I'm going to make the hardest quilt. This time I had 2 quilts that were both pretty easy. So I made the 2 easiest quilts first, and then I made what I think was going to be the most time consuming, but then it didn't take too long. So I think Nancy, my friend Nancy, ended up sewing my most time-consuming quilt. So, but I've got one more to make and a wall hanging, so getting close. But yeah, I already knew which one I was going to sew first.
What about you, Chelsi?
Mom is doing really well. I actually have 4 quilts out right now, and Tammy and Dawn are both sewing for me, and I am actually probably going to make 2. At this point, But one of them is super simple, and that's actually the one I'm starting with. So mom has really good logic because it's like you want a quick win, right? Because that makes you excited that you finish something. And I will probably start the more time consuming one right after. But my kids are in school, so I have had tons of time and I get to start sewing on Monday is what I have scheduled.
As you start working on quilts, or if other people are sewing them for you, have you ever ran into a problem where you're like, there's either a mistake in this pattern, or maybe something didn't go together quite the way you thought about it and you had to make a change? Does that happen at this point, or is it pretty much already set in stone by now?
Yeah, I've found things that were a little bit different than I thought they were going to be and made some kind of last minute changes. And there's usually plenty of time to do that because the patterns aren't out yet and we can make a little update if we need to. For example, one of the quilts that I was sewing just yesterday, I guess, no, 2 days ago, I realized, oh, wow, we're not writing the paper with triangle paper, but that might save a lot of time. So we're going to add a little note into the pattern's already pretty much there, but we're going to just put a note about with triangle paper instructions too, because it probably will save people a lot of time.
That's really smart, though, to add that right after. I think that's what's so great about, yeah, you find a lot out about a pattern. It's really good to hear things from people who are sewing for me, and I really, really trust, like, Tammy will tell me something or ask me questions, and they're both amazing quilters. But yeah, it's always, yeah, I feel like sometimes I don't run into that a lot, but I feel like with you, you really do always try to find ways to save time on things. So that's,
Well, also this time around, I've gotten some really great feedback from Nancy, who's making one of them, and yeah, she told me this was time consuming. So
yeah, wow.
the blocks
I
are
can't wait to
smaller.
hear which one. I'm going to text you after this and see
Yes.
which one it was. I almost slipped
Yeah.
and asked what name the
Yeah.
girl had.
But yeah, well, she's sewing one that has smaller blocks, and so they were
Okay.
a little bit time consuming. So
Yeah, I want to put a little side note in right now. This is different for us because we haven't had an actual market collection in a really, really long time. So normally we're already sharing right now and showing quilts, but this particular collection needs to be a market collection. So we are very excited about it actually because we haven't had a market collection in a long, long time.
I was wondering about that, and maybe you can answer. Has it been since Valley? I
Summer
mean,
Sweet.
right? Sun and Valley were both market collections, right? But
Yeah.
have we had one since then?
Wow. Summer Sweet, was it?
I don't think so. I
Wow.
think that was a summer release, and then we shared it at market.
Yeah. It's been a really long time. I
Yeah,
I
either
actually
way.
love our old schedule a little bit better. It's very like strange switching our schedule and I'm excited though. It's
Yeah,
going to be really fun.
it'll be really fun.
Yeah, we're very excited about this. And honestly, the collections all coming up are really exciting.
Yeah.
We just have been doing a lot of fabric things right now, which is different for us. We've had a lot of meetings about fabric recently.
Yeah. Because we will be sharing 3 new collections before summer next year.
Yeah, we kind of have an extra one this time, which is really fun for us that we don't normally do that, but we were able to do a little bit of an extra one for this coming season, which is really exciting when we can fit those in. I really do actually like doing 2 collections a year, but
Yeah.
sometimes when we can fit in a third, that's always really fun.
Yeah.
And then with that and saying meetings and everything that's going on, that leads to another question I had about the quilts that get kitted. Are those something that you get to choose? Does Moda choose it all on their own? Do you guys talk about it? How, when you do have a quilt kit, like a Moda boxed kit is what I'm saying, how does that come about?
So Moda actually decides which quilts they want to kit. It's always very, very exciting when you get an email that one of your Quilts is being kitted. And I always message mom if I have a kit, and she always messages me. And I love it because we're always like really supportive of each other. It's an exciting thing for Moda to pick one of your quilts to be a boxed kit. That's always really, really fun. So they actually make that decision, but I've always loved the ones that they've chosen.
Oh, me too. Yeah. I haven't heard anything yet with this one. I just know that
I haven't either.
They're making one of my quilts for their booth, and they're making one of your quilts for their booth.
Yeah.
But I think they do that for every market release.
Yeah.
I think they make one quilt by every designer.
Yeah, to put up in the display of everything.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see.
So we'll see. I think we both have quilts that would be good candidates. So
yeah, we have somewhat some potential.
Happy either way.
Yeah. If either one of us gets a kit, I'm always so excited about it. Yeah. Well, I think we should find out in a few weeks if we have one that's a kit. That's always really exciting for me.
Right.
Well, then when you do get to the time where you can share the fabric, we'll have to remember to note that. And I'll have to ask you if the quilt that ends up getting kitted, if there is one, is the one of yours that you thought would be.
Right.
So just,
I'll make a mental note. I do have the one in mind that I think they're,
Yeah.
And then I guess the last thing about this time of your sewing when you get it first is, has there ever been a time where the fabric doesn't maybe coordinate in real life as much as you thought it would on the computer? Have you ever dealt with that, or has it always been a pretty smooth process for you? And you're like, yep, I'm going to make the pattern exactly how I designed it on the computer. Or have you ever had to make changes in regards of color?
Okay. I see what you're saying. So like when I design it in EQ, is it different? Yeah, I mean, the fabrics when you get them in person are always so vibrant and bright. And obviously the colors come through differently than they do on the computer. I have never really made any significant changes. I know mom has sometimes made changes when she starts making it, but I'm always very like go by the digital image. I don't know why. I just trust that process. Maybe it's because like I design everything on the computer after. I don't know. I feel like I trust the computer. Probably a little too much.
I sometimes, a lot, in fact, I shouldn't say sometimes because I think they're probably not happy with me because a lot of times I change the outer border. I just like get those fabrics and I look at the scale in person, even though I've already seen them in strike-offs. And sometimes I've even printed them out to scale. I feel like sometimes maybe I just got it wrong in EQ for my border, or I just think, oh, this would look so much better. And so quite a few times I've changed my border and then I have to send new images. This time I changed one border and I think that's a record. I think that's the least I've changed in a long time. So
I don't think I've ever changed. I actually have a really random question for you, Mom. What is the largest border size like you've ever done?
Probably 5 inches.
Okay. I was just wondering that.
Yeah.
That's random.
Yeah.
What's a normal border size?
If it's a smaller project, like a table runner, I'll do a 2.5 inch cut border, but usually for a quilt, it's at least 3 inches to 4.5.
I've never gone above 3. I don't
Really?
think. Yeah, never.
Wow.
We did with that quilt with Fat Quarter Shop. They did like a 7-inch border, but the quilt was like huge.
Oh,
you remember that?
Right,
with, like, the heart in it, the quilt block.
Good deal.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about this period of sewing with new fabric and that in-between period, I guess, from when you get it to where you can share it?
Well, sometimes when we get the strike-offs back, I will try to, especially I'm thinking with Strawberry Lemonade because we were going to be on the cover of the catalog. So I tried to make a whole bunch of small little projects just for backdrops in our photography. And I've been trying to do that this time with every collection, but this time I actually just made 2 test blocks with the strike-offs and the sample yardage got here so quick
Yeah.
There wasn't really any need for that, so I just jumped in without making any small projects. So that was really kind of unusual for me this time.
Yeah. Okay, so I actually got an email. Last podcast, we talked about going back to school, and my kids are like right now while we're filming this is the first week of school. So my kids are actually in school, and I actually got an email from the Swedish shop owner, and she said, I watched your podcast and I could tell you were really excited for the kids to go back to school. And she's like, I totally get it. Like, but I really have this week. I told my husband, I said, I have gotten more done in the past like 3 days than I have gotten done all summer.
Yes.
I'm really excited because my fabrics have just been like sitting here. And I was able to get the fabrics to Tammy and Dawn, who have saved me. I adore them. And they're so sweet. Tammy was telling me which of her grandkids, what grades they're going into. And she's like, I totally get it. But I'm really excited because what's different is I actually get to sew during when school has started because it's a market collection.
Yes.
And normally before I have to have my quilts already done by now before school.
Great.
And so the timeline has been a little bit different, and I feel like I can actually take a breath. I thought this time period was going to stress me out, and it's not, because market is actually sooner this year.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of October. And I thought I'm going to be so stressed. And so we literally share our collection like pretty close to market, and then we go straight to market.
Yeah, I think we share it about a week before.
A week before.
Like on a Friday. And then we fly out like the next Thursday or something. So,
yeah. It's all very, very close together. And so watch our Instagrams because we'll be sharing a lot of stuff at market, actually.
Yeah.
All right. So the next topic here is something that was actually brought up on a survey that Mom put out on her blog. And we went over some of those comments and things that people were interested in. And one thing that popped up several times that I thought would be a good topic for the podcast was people were interested in what are your, I will call it, quote, go-to quilts. And so that could mean a few different things in my opinion. And so I put a few different ideas out there. But if you were to, being asked that question, what do you consider to be your go-to quilts? And the first thing that I thought about was a go-to quilt could be something where, say you want to make something happens, or you want to make a quick gift or a gift for somebody for a life change or whatever, and you're sort of have a short amount of time. What's a quilt that you would go to make as a gift? That would be my first, I guess, definition of a go-to quilt. And what would you guys do with that?
I know mine. I would most likely make hearts at home. It's super, super quick, and you can just add blocks to make it bigger. But I'll give another example. Beachfront, that was a seashore drive pattern, is really great because you're using charm packs. You don't have to cut the charms up, and then it has an alternating block. So I would do something simple like that. Yeah, either hearts at home or something like beachfront that used like layer cake quilts are really, really great too. So yeah, something simple.
I was thinking of one of yours too. I don't know the name of it, but it was in your project package and it had the houses and an alternate block pretty recently.
Oh, yes. Oh
I
my
thought
goodness.
that would be such a simple, fun one.
So simple. I can't even think of the name of that. It's not a pattern I haven't even listed it.
You haven't listed it yet.
I don't think I've listed like 5 of my project package patterns.
No, you need to list those.
Do I?
Yes.
You think they'll sell?
Yes.
This is so funny.
Really?
Really?
I always list mine. As soon as I've mailed the last project package out, I list them.
Do you send yours to Moda?
I think I haven't sent them all to Moda.
See, I don't think I'd send them. Yeah, I think, well, I'm going to go list them today. I'm going to add that to my to-do. I didn't know that. Yeah. I always just order like enough for the project packages. Well, I always have like 50 left over or whatever.
Right.
I'm going to do it, Mom.
What's a project package that you're talking about?
Oh, when we have a new collection, we usually do just a limited amount from each of us. and they get 12 fat quarters, and then they get a fat eighth pattern from me and a fat eighth pattern from Chelsi. So they can actually make both patterns if they just buy the background and everything. And then we give them like a fun little notion, and
But those quilts are exclusive to
just
that
like
package.
At the beginning, yeah.
first, at the beginning,
beginning.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then it sounds like then Chelsi, after those, you've never.
I haven't listed them. I haven't listed like 6 of them, I think. 5 or 6 of them.
But Mom has.
Now,
Interesting.
we didn't do a project package with Delightfully Yours, but
Right.
people are
Because
wondering, these next 3 collections are really special, and
we are definitely have project packages with the next 3.
They're going to be very, very fun, and I don't know. I probably want to do something extra with them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the reason we didn't do it with Delightfully Yours, honestly, was because we have the collector box.
Yes.
And we didn't want
to interfere.
Competing against our own box.
Yeah.
You know? And that is such an amazing thing that we just thought people should buy that. So
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that right now because we are doing, business meeting.
Yeah. No, we should get those ready to go, the graphics and everything.
Yeah.
So for my go-to quilts, while Chelsi's taking notes.
Yeah, I'm going to write it down.
I feel like Eclairs, which is a new pattern with Delightfully Yours, and it's layer cake and jelly roll friendly, is a great one because it's so simple. You can alter the number of blocks. You can make it a baby quilt, a lap quilt, a bed quilt, and kind of the same thing with my 4-square pattern. And you can do that with charm pattern. And the same thing when I revised that pattern, I think I have 7 different sizes in there.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's like every size you could possibly need.
Yeah, little to king size. So we just went ahead and did the math for all the way up. Cottage Charm is a really good one. I'm actually getting ready to make one of those for Billy and his wife. We talked about it. I don't know when this is airing, but I shared it in my works in progress for August. And then Laguna Stars is another really quick layer cake. It's funny how layer cakes seem to lend themselves to really quick and easy patterns too.
Those are a good size. 10 inches by 10 inches takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. And also, like, you can always just buy a layer cake and do a 6x7 grid.
Yeah.
And I made that one for Finn when he was a baby. I can't remember whose fabric it was, but
had farm animals on it.
It must have been Stacy Asu's.
It was Stacy Asu because we
yeah.
take that quilt everywhere, like on vacations, and you always need a quilt when you go somewhere to sit on.
Yeah. And that was just, 6x7, quilt it, bind it, you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the same type of thing you did for the one quilt you made for me, Mom? And that was with Lisa Bonjean fabric it was like the darker, it's just squares. Was that a layer cake quilt? Do you remember that?
Yep.
You gave it to me, I don't know, it was probably 7-8 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Billy, you could make a layer cake quilt. That will be our project.
That's your video.
That's our video.
Well, if it's the simplest one, then that would have to be what I do. But
literally, it'll take you an hour.
Now, so layer cake quilts in general would be the simplest type, like you said. Just basically grab them, put the squares together, border it, and then done.
I mean, yeah, if you're doing it that way, that would be super simple. Just because you could do the same thing with charm squares, but the layer cake's bigger, so it's going to go together faster.
Okay. Now, another quilt, and I know you haven't made them for years, but when you think about Mom back when you first started quilting, didn't you make essentially the same type of quilt for me, for you, for, I don't know, if Candace and Chelsi or just one of them, but that pattern, that design, wasn't that the same quilt?
Yeah, I have 2 of them in my house right now.
And what were they called?
I can't remember.
It's like so there's one block has I'm looking at it right now, the 3
is it the
rectangles.
rail fence? The 3?
Yeah. Actually, I have 3 in my house because I have the king size one, the red, white, and blue.
Is that a fairly simple type of block to make as well? Rail fence? Is that the
rail
name
fence
of it?
is super simple. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She would know.
And you could do it with jelly rolls, honey buns, and I have jelly roll and honey bun patterns with those blocks. So
I thought about that when I saw this question, because I was
yeah,
remembering you made a lot of those type of quilts back in the days.
yeah.
What are some other pattern, or I guess of your own personal patterns? It sounds like, Chelsi, now I was already thinking Hearts at Home. You've made that multiple times in different fabric collections, correct?
Yeah, I've made it like 3 times. Yeah, all different fabric collections. I think 2 in like a full collection, and then 1 was like scraps that I had saved up, 2.5-inch strips, and I just put it and did like rainbow version. It was really cool. So it's not bound, Mom. Maybe I'll bring it by.
Hey, yeah.
I
Is
got plenty of those for you.
that pattern the one you've made the most versions of, or is there another one that you've made
Yeah.
more of? Okay.
No, Hearts at Home I have for sure made the most. Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Mom? Have you made some of your patterns multiple
Probably
times?
Foursquare. Yeah.
Okay.
Because I originally did it in Swell Christmas, and
It's my favorite.
yeah, and then I made it again in Favorite Things, and I've made it in regular fabrics. I made it in Lisa Bonjean fabrics, and I actually that's the one I had Dad work on when he wanted to sew a quilt. So yeah,
Go, Dad.
I probably made that one 5 times, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So is it fairly simple as well? Like, would that be one that you'd
Oh, yeah.
recommend
And
other people making?
it's super simple, and it does have slashing, but the way you put it together, you don't have to line anything. You don't have to be super crazy about lining things up. The sashing on it is designed in such a way that a beginner can easily put it together. So
Okay. Sounds good. So maybe that's another something you could consider to be a go-to quilt, then would be Foursquare.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. Any other patterns or anything you guys would recommend for people if they needed to make something quick or just something simple to make?
I actually, it's a Sincerely Yours pattern, but it is a great pattern. And actually, I should make it in a different collection, but my Afterglow pattern is only flying geese. But it was really cool because Sincerely Yours had kind of an ombre effect. So that's why I wouldn't normally design a pattern like that. It's only flying geese. But it was more about the color than the design for that quilt. But that would be a really, really easy one. And you can use a lock ruler if you wanted and just kind of like get extra fabrics for it. That would be an easy one for people.
And those are bigger blocks too, so it would go together
Yeah.
quickly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I've used the Yellow Brick Road table runner pattern a jillion times by Atkinson Designs, and I feel like they went out of business or something, but you can still find their patterns. I think they sold to somebody else who still has the patterns, but that's a super simple charm pack table runner pattern. Although I just found a free Moda pattern it's actually for a charm pack tote bag, but I'm going to make it into a table runner. And I feel like that might be my new go-to. It looks even easier than the other one, and it's free. So we'll have to link that for you.
And it's free.
And it's free.
Okay. Well, sounds good. I think that wraps up our topics today, unless you guys have anything else to add.
I was going to say, we have a few more podcast episodes that air before we leave, though. But
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the content that we'll have after market. We'll have to work with Billy, because Billy, are you going to Houston this year?
As of right now, I don't have anything planned, so we'll see if I can make it work at the end. But
it's okay. I'll be a pro because we've done this before. You can send us with the stuff and we can get the microphone.
Oh yeah, yeah.
For sure.
I'd like to go again, but we'll see.
I was just looking at the dates, and there are 5 Mondays in September.
Yeah.
So on the 29th, that would typically be our listener question podcast. Maybe we should move the listener question to the 22nd, and on the 29th, we could talk about the new fabrics.
Yeah.
We could
and that would
definitely
be
do that.
Better.
A couple days before we go to market.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's really soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks for joining us remotely today, Chelsea, and not getting us sick. And then we'll.
Thank you. I am feeling a little bit better today. Yesterday was pretty bad, so today is much better, but still
good.
not feeling great.
Oh, good. Well, I'll stay away.
All right. Well, Mom and I will now go back and wrap up this episode back at the table.
Okay, well, Billy and I are back. We were actually in the same house the same time. He was just in a different room. I don't know if we mentioned that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think we did, but we were both here. Chelsea's at her house.
It makes it easier to everyone just have their own computer to do something like that.
Yeah. As I was sitting here, I was thinking about our conversation earlier and how Billy asked both me and Chelsea if we had ever changed a pattern while we were making it. And I sat here and I looked at the Quilter's Cottage and I realized I actually did that with this. It was just going to be plain there. And I actually made my first test block and it was plain. So I ended up adding a little grandmother's flower garden hexagon flower there. But then before we did the pattern, I updated it and put the little friendship star there. So I made that change while I was sewing this quilt because I thought it needs something a little more right there. And so anyway, there's an example of something pretty recently.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure everyone can see it now in front of the camera today, but
yeah,
I knew we could at least see the house. So, and we'll have a picture of it up anyway earlier. So
yeah. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. I thought they were great topics. Billy always comes up with good ones. And we will be back on Monday, September 8th. And then it looks like after that, we'll have a listener question on the 22nd. And then on the 29th, we'll be able to talk about that new collection we were referring to.
Yeah, so 3 episodes in September coming up here.
Yep. So, yeah. Thanks so much for stopping by.